This is your community update for Friday, March 27th. I'm Sean McAllister.
And I'm Dayna Roselli. Welcome, everyone. We have really enjoyed bringing you these updates and finding out what's going on in the community during these uncertain times. And we are seeing so many community members here in Southern Nevada, Sean, that are helping others and using this time to figure out, what can I do?
Yeah, that's right. And we've already talked this week about one local woman who is organizing a campaign to sew surgical face masks for our medical professionals here in the Las Vegas Valley. But something else that you don't really think about is the fact that doctors still need to treat patients that don't necessarily have life-threatening conditions. I mean, this is, with all this going on, like, earaches don't stop, bumps and bruises don't stop, rashes don't stop. None of that stuff stops. It keeps going, and it's stuff that doctors need to treat. But the difficulty now is that they can't necessarily do it face to face, or they're kind of discouraging that because of the situation that we're in.
That's right. So what they're doing is these virtual visits. It's really cool. So if you want to speak to a doctor, it's best for them to see you, kind of assess the situation, hear about your symptoms. And Kyle Markman has a great idea. Actually, a doctor reached out to him and Kyle said, "Hey, do you have any webcams?" And you just went, "Yeah." And I think probably a lot of other people do too, right?
Yes, and actually, I didn't even have one myself. Most of our laptops and our computers these days, it's built in. So when my primary care physician, he's also one of my best friends, and he lives in my neighborhood, he reached out to me and just asked me if I had a webcam he could borrow, and I didn't. He needed it, and I said, "Let me see what I can do." So I put out a Facebook post asking my friends and family for webcams here in the Valley, and I've gotten a great response, and people are sharing it. And actually, Sean, you were one of the first to reach out to me saying that you had one.
Yeah, and I up in the top of my linen closet, I've got a whole bunch of cords stuck up there. I still have the BlackBerry charger up there too, if anyone needs it. But that's where I had the webcam stuffed, and I said, "I know that I have this. It's not being used." So yeah, I said, "You know what, Kyle, I have one. Let's put it to use."
Appreciate that. That's what most people have said. Like, I used to have one of those. Let me see if I can dig through my attic or my storage and find it. And quite a few people have been able to find them. So if you do have some, either contact your primary care physician or just reach out to me. My email is kylemarkman@gmail.com. And I'll either arrange to pick it up and get it into the hands of the doctors in need.
So tell us how this would work then. Is it for the doctor or for the patients or people who need it? Or how does that work?
It's for the doctor. So as Sean mentioned earlier, there's a lot of things that you don't need to go to the doctor for. A little cold or an earache or something. They're strongly recommending, with our social distancing, to do these virtual visits. So my doctor was just telling me that they're doing 400 to 500 patients per day at just his office with virtual visits. That's a huge number, and they've set up several stations with appropriate social distancing, and they're connecting with patients 24 hours a day, 7 days a week during these crazy times that we're in. So he told me it's a tremendous way to safely and effectively continue to serve our community without getting other people without potentially getting other people sick.
And if there are, 400 to 500 of these virtual visits happening just at one medical office, and your friend is a general practitioner, right?
Correct.
Yeah,
He's a primary care physician. He runs the office at one of the Southwest Medicals here in Vegas.
So if that volume is happening at just one office, you can, multiply across the Las Vegas Valley. And, obviously there is a need. Some doctors' offices will have this type of equipment already. Others, though, not necessarily.
Right. And they weren't planning on this type of volume to be needed. So what they're doing is they're taking computers that weren't originally set up to do these virtual visits, and they're taking them out of their offices or their admins, and they're plugging them in and setting up virtual visits. And that's where these webcams really become very helpful, because most people at home have their laptop that has these. So you can set up the virtual visit really easily, but your doctor needs a webcam.
Yeah. No, it's true. I mean, I've seen a lot of different accounts, even for people who think maybe I have some symptoms of the coronavirus, but I'm not going to go in because I'm probably not, they're not, I don't qualify to get a test. What's the point? I'll just get through it. But maybe that they advise maybe a virtual visit to say, you know what, it could be, it could not be, it could be the flu, here's what you need to do. And that's a little bit, and here's what not to do. So these virtual visits could obviously bring a lot of comfort.
Bring a lot of comfort and ease the stress on our doctors that are in an incredibly stressful time.
Yeah, definitely. I was just thinking I could go down to my storage and maybe find my old webcam. So it's good that you're bringing this up.
Please do. Please do. And lots of people actually still have them. And it's funny, like you said earlier, Sean, the BlackBerry, I found a bunch of like old video games and stuff that I haven't seen in 20 years, but we all have them somewhere, and please grab them and reach out to me. Let us help the doctors. It's the least we can do at this point, right?
Yeah. And obviously the webcams that have been donated so far are being put to great use. Have you heard from the doctors and from the other professionals at the office about what this has done for their ability? What kind of reactions have they expressed back to you?
They're just so grateful for them. Like I said, in his office alone, they're doing 400 to 500, which is a ton more than they've ever done. So everything that we can do right now to ease their job is something that we have to do.
Yeah, really, really great idea, Kyle. I love it. And I love that you're continuing to do this. Again, people can email you, right? Just to kind of get a hold of you. And if they have something, you'll figure it out and you'll pick it up.
Absolutely. And we don't even have to, I'm not going to go in your house or anything like that. Just put it in a box, put a name and number on the box, and I'll come and grab it from your doorstep, and I'll get it to the right doctor. And when this is all over with, they'll be cleaned and they'll get it back to you.
Love it.
Yeah, and it really is great. I had my name and number on the box that I put out on my doorstep, and I actually got a voicemail from the doctor who's using it, just saying how thankful they are that this type of equipment is being donated right now. So, Kyle, thank you for your efforts in getting this equipment into the hands of the people who need it. This could be life-saving stuff that's happening here.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thanks, guys, for helping me spread the message.
Sure thing.
You got it.
All right,
Thanks
take
so
care,
much,
Kyle.
Thank you.
Yeah, love all these different efforts, right? I mean, everyone just has such great ideas during this time. It's interesting and wonderful to see everyone think of something unique and something that they can do to help, Sean.
Yeah, and I think we've talked about all of the people at this time who are still going into work, who are still, kind of on the front lines of the situation that we're finding ourselves in right now. Medical professionals are, among them, obviously. And, not only do they deserve our thanks, but the support in any way that we can give it. And this is one of those ways to dig out webcams that we might just have laying around that aren't being used. And let's put them to use and let's help people out.
Right. And you know what I love too? I love that the medical professionals are reaching out and saying, we need this. I mean, without knowing, we wouldn't know. So this is a great thing. And if anyone's listening and you work in the field, let the community know what you need, because as you can see, people are taking it very seriously and figuring out how they can help. I mean, people are pretty much sitting home, Sean, and they want to do something.
Yeah, that's right. And if this is one of the ways that we can all help, it's a great way to do it. And, it's been great this week to hear from such a wide variety of people here in the Las Vegas community and hear their stories, how they're trying to help out and give back in this time. And we want to thank our partners at the Vegas Video Network for bringing us on air and online with this. Scott, thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
There's our support. He's the person in our ear. He's like, he's the guy who guides us along and makes the live stream possible. So yeah, thank you, Scott. Love the polka dots.
My apologies for yes, I have a new shirt on just for you. My apologies for the head talk.
It's okay. We love it. We love it. Listen, happy Friday. We all had to be, before we got on this call, we had to be reminded of what day it is. And it doesn't quite feel like, oh, it's the end of the week. Let's celebrate. But we're doing what we can.
That's right. Another week down.
All right. Well, listen, have a great day, everyone. Thanks again for joining us for the live stream. Spread the word about the webcams, please. Have a good one.
Yep. We'll be back. Bye-bye.